Hi, this is Kim White
and Kristi Bridges.
I'm with the famous Kristi Bridges. This is the Hope to Hope Conference, session number 5. I can't believe it.
On a roll.
We ran quickly and tried to eat some lunch, so if we have some stuff in our teeth, just ignore that or tell us either way.
Leave a comment.
We are excited because our cohort in crime is here from Las Vegas to be with us live and in person.
Yes.
This is not Memorex. This is live. And she's a hot mess. She's over here trying to work this social media, and I'm really proud of her for that. I will say that.
I'm grateful.
But she is got an amazing story. She's got an amazing tale to tell that she has come through a lot in her lifetime. I will tell you, I think it's a 5-time best-selling author. She's an international bestseller. She owns a publishing company.
Where do you meet so many cool people?
That's what a princess does. That's my only job in life is to meet cool people.
Heck of a job. Dream job.
So finally, but here's the funny. I just want y'all to be able to share some of the humor with us because we are funny. We've had technical challenges, we've had issues, and now the challenge is getting Miss Coni in the picture with us when we already filled the picture. So this is our little powerhouse that's back here hiding kind of behind us. We're trying to get her in here so that she doesn't look like she's left out back.
She is an inspiration, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. So great to be here.
So glad you came in from Vegas. That's our other home.
Yes.
And we love Vegas, but we love Miss Coni way more.
Oh, honey, thank you.
She is an influencer. She has all of these things going on. I don't even know where all to start because she's the founder of the Crystalline Moment Success Movement. She is on tour speaking with Book to Business. She is interviewing. She's got all these books going because she's a publisher, and she is interviewing all these powerful people that I just laugh because I think they underestimate this little white-headed grandma. Oh my goodness. She is
her leadership training course.
She has got called Kick Butt Leadership.
Wonderful
training course that has it's the bomb.
Very intuitive.
She works with the California Association of Realtors. I hope I'm saying all these things right. I'm sure she will correct me. And she does, cool stuff.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I can go on and on.
Yes. Thank you. You're one of my biggest cheerleaders. So
that's right.
I appreciate it very much.
Is that a fat joke?
I'm sorry?
Is that a fat joke?
No. Silly girl.
Miss Coni, she gets my silly princess humor. She can't help it. But, in all seriousness, today is an important day for me personally because it would have been the 30th birthday of my oldest son. And his death kind of created this motion that actually created this Hope to Hope conference. People go through things. We all go through things. And I always say some things are inflicted on us. Some things we inflict on ourselves, but we have to get through them. And so Miss Coni has a lot of things that she's gone through and a lot of things. But I asked her today, since it's my son's birthday, I asked her today to share something very personal that created a change in her that caused her to have all kinds of things change. But I would love for you to hear her story of something that will hopefully help you get past some things in your life.
Well, actually, it was only the 24th, just 4 days ago, that it was 7 years since my husband passed away. And I looked back when I was writing a tribute on Facebook and was talking about it, and I'm looking back, and the life that has happened in those 7 years is so overwhelming. It's really, I look back at it and I go, how did this all happen? And I'm sure you do the same thing. You look back and you go, how did this all happen?
Yes.
And it really all started because I tried to go back to my old life about 6-8 weeks after Tom passed. And I couldn't do it. I could not. I was having these conversations with my partners, and I was having conversations with clients. And it was like I was having this out-of-body experience. I wasn't connecting. And after a couple of months, I figured out that the old life, the old me, which was a workaholic, and, I put in, if I didn't have something else to do, I was working, and I was driven, and I was a crazy woman. Everybody was telling me, you need to stop, you need to slow down. What are you doing? Why aren't you having any fun?
Yeah.
And I had to stop it all. And then I had to figure out, okay, what's next? And you were talking about this, just the two of you before, is that you really need to figure out what it is you're supposed to be doing. And for me, I had two really wonderful people that came into my life that helped me to look back and really think about what it is that I really was passionate about and what I could do. And I call those crystalline moments. Crystalline means sparkly or clear. So they're moments of clarity. And we all have them. We have big ones. We have little ones. They happen every day. Obviously, the loss of someone is a huge one, but it could also be something really, really positive.
Yeah.
Like, for example, in my book, I write about a couple that won a $34 million lottery and how that changed their lives. But for me, it was, if somebody would have said that I was going to write a book, I would have said they were crazy, because I didn't think I could write a decent email, much less a book. And
they didn't say you could, right?
No, it was just me saying, oh yeah, right, I'm going to write a book, sure. But lo and behold, that's exactly how it all started. And then I decided I'd been helping with people in sales and marketing for 20 plus years. I had 4 insurance agencies. And before we started, it took 2 companies national. And so
okay. I just want you all, she's talking really fast, and I just want to make sure she slows down enough that you understand. She had companies that went national, as in offices in every state, and little things like that. She is truly a little guru in the business world that, just looking at your gray hair, that's one of the things. You are so adorable. You don't look like you'd be a force to be reckoned with, but I can tell you, she's a force to be reckoned with. And it's very important that you understand the national thing, because if you just say that like you just did, no one really knows what that means. But she had taken companies from, they weren't a company, nothing, to in all 50 states.
Awesome.
So, that's huge. That's huge. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I need everybody to understand what you're.
Well, I think so. I'd helped a lot of people, and I had helped a lot of businesses, but in the business world. And after Tom passed, and I'm trying to figure out what the rest of my life is going to look like. What is the opportunity or the gift? I always tell everyone, it doesn't matter how devastating a crystalline moment is or how incredible a crystalline moment is. There's always a gift and there's always an opportunity. And for me, trying to figure out what it was I was supposed to be doing was actually the gift that Tom left. And what that turned out to be is I would be getting these inspirational messages every morning from my mentor, Mary Morrissey. And underneath that, there was a little thing that said, check out her Life Mastery Institute. Another email would come, and I just delete.
Oh.
And one morning, it was like that email came out of the computer and slapped me in the face. And so I clicked on it. I made the phone call, and I went through Mary Morrissey's first program called the Dream Coach. They're both life coach things. One's called the Dream Builder Coach, and then her more advanced is called Life Mastery Consultant. So I did both of those. And then I also went through the John Maxwell Leadership and Business Coaching. So what Tom's death actually created was the greatest gift of me living my life's purpose. And if he had not passed, and I know for somebody who's lost someone, they have a hard time maybe understanding this concept in the beginning. But just like you would not be doing what you're doing,
It's true.
if Justin hadn't passed,
Yes.
I would not be doing what I'm doing
Mm-hmm.
and helping all these wonderful people.
Yep.
That if my husband had not passed.
Yep.
And I really want to emphasize that if you are someone who's recently lost someone, this probably sounds unnatural. Like, how could I possibly find a gift in my husband dying? If I could have my husband back tomorrow, and if you could have your son back tomorrow, that's exactly what we would want.
Oh, man.
But since we can't,
Mm-hmm.
let us find the gift and the opportunity that each of these people have given to us. And then it is our responsibility, not just to accept it, but it's our responsibility in honor of them to move forward with whatever that gift is.
That's right.
That's good stuff.
It's very interesting to me. I send out a lot of my Crystalline Moment books, especially, like I just sent out 7 last week to people who recently lost someone or in the fairly recent past. And usually somewhere around a year to a year and a half, they get it.
Yeah.
They start looking, because now it's time to move on.
Mm-hmm.
I did an interview a couple of days ago with Dr. Robin Donaldson, and she had lost her husband 4.5 years ago. She has her doctorates in psychology. And she now has something called the Solace Club, which instead of giving flowers to somebody, you can give these beautiful boxes that have things in them, depending upon where the grief status you are. And we were talking about why is it that people get stuck.
Mm-hmm.
And she said a lot of times it's because people are afraid that if they let go of the grief, that they're letting go of their loved one.
Yes.
And I would like to emphasize that when you move through the grief, and everybody grieves differently, but when you move through the grief, you actually find the gift, and that is the perfect way of honoring your loved one.
Right.
And that's what Hope to Hope is all about.
That is exactly. And I didn't know until my son passed away. This is just not something, I was a lot younger. It was 17 years ago. I had no idea that when you lost someone close to you like that you were afraid. A lot of people become afraid that they're going to be forgotten.
Yes.
Or that you're going to forget them, or that that they didn't matter while they were here. And I don't know whether that is because we want to know we matter, ourselves, and we're fearful for them because they were connected to us. Like, I don't know the psychology, I don't know any of that stuff behind it, but I do know that I lived that. I don't want Justin forgotten.
Right.
We're having his 30th birthday celebration
By doing this.
So it's not a thing that I want to, be sad on this day.
Yeah.
I want to celebrate the fact that he would have been 30, and I want to celebrate the fact that he was here. And I know you do too. You want to celebrate the fact that Tom was here and that his life counted for something.
Absolutely.
And I do think the grief gets cloudy and we attach their memory with the grief because that's what we're feeling.
Exactly. And that's also the reason why so many people don't want to let go.
Yes.
I talk a lot about, after Tom died, I knew 6 other couples who lost spouses. And 3 of them were able to move forward, and 3 of them got stuck. Mm-hmm. And of the 3 that got stuck, I lost touch with one of them, but the other 2 passed away. And that's why I asked Dr. Donaldson about this, because she's now really a grief expert. And I was asking her why that was, and that's when she said, some people just want to hang on to it because they don't want to let go, because then they think they're letting go of that person.
But if you have the ideas, a lot of people, when they let go of someone, when they bury someone, they have the idea that person's still here. They're still around. Maybe they're in heaven, but they're connected still. Now, if I came to you and every time I thought of you, I cried, and hold myself up in my house for days and refuse to go out and do anything. How would that make you feel? We can't put that burden on our loved ones who are gone either. If we instead choose to honor them instead of trying to drag them into the one capsule of grief and hold them in that capsule forever, if we instead honor them as they should have been able to live and as we can live now, then that's what brings hope to other people, and that's what brings hope to our own heart.
Exactly, and that's exactly what I said the other day in my tribute. I feel like Tom is with me on this journey.
Yes.
And I know that he's cheering me on. As a matter of fact, sometimes I think he's up there manipulating me. Let me give you a really good example of that.
He should manipulate you into baking, because I hear that you're good at that.
We still haven't got to test that theory. We're not going to believe her until she brings us stuff. Actually, I think you're cooking. Very good cook.
Well, when Tom was alive, we had two homes, one in Las Vegas and one in Portland. Mm-hmm. And the home in Portland was my dream home. It had everything I ever wanted in a home. I even had my beautiful wine room. I mean, everything I ever wanted. And when Tom was working with his kids in Vegas, and he decided that he wanted to buy this house, I said, do not ask me to move to Vegas. I am a gardener. I like green. I don't mind the rain. I hate brown, and I hate
man, yeah.
And so don't ask me to move to Vegas. So not too long after he passed, I'm trying to decide whether or not I'm going to live in Vegas or in Portland, because what ended up happening is I spent the last 6 months of his life with him in Las Vegas. Now, I didn't get any fonder of Vegas while I was there. But every time I would go back to my dream home in Portland, it felt empty because Tom's spirit was in the house in Vegas. Yeah. And I tell the story all the time that it was between Christmas and New Year's. It took me 9 months to have the decision come to me. And it was Thursday morning, about 6:30 in the morning. I opened my eyes. This is what a real crystalline moment is all about. Opened my eyes, and sometime during the night, the decision had been made that I was going to stay in Vegas. And the first words out of my mouth were, "Really?" And I really didn't believe that decision had been made. And I'm telling you, I did not make that decision. So here I am living in Vegas, place I said I would never go. And that's what I mean. Tom has a good hand on whatever's going on in my life. So I know he's my biggest cheerleader. And also when I get a little stubborn about something, I think he kind of helps to kick me in the butt.
You get stubborn?
Me?
Miss Coni loves this princess. I just want to point this out, like on live video. She loves me, but she can tolerate me only so much when she's not doing what I think she should be doing.
Well, it's not so much that. It's just that there's a bit of an age difference here. She could actually be, I have a son that is almost exactly the same age as her, and she forgets that I'm 20 years older than her. That's really what it boils down to.
Does that mean you're a grown-up? We've been waiting to grow up.
Well, I wouldn't go quite that far.
No, I'm not a grown-up. I'm not going to grow up. I made it to 50. I don't have to now.
But then at 70, I still can say a kid.
There you go. So why has Vegas been something good for you?
Oh, it's actually, except during half of July. I don't mind June because it's dry heat. My body has adjusted. But July, August, and half of September, I don't want to be there. But the rest of the time, what it's turned out to be is really, really wonderful. I mean, I took a lot of my plants from Oregon. I can't believe I've got hostas growing in Vegas.
Wow.
I've built pergolas, and I've got heaters for the winter and an outdoor swamp cooler for the summer.
She's got beautiful. It's more than a backyard sanctuary because it is just lovely. She's got is it concrete block fence basically
around it
that gives you privacy, but then she's got all these plants and all these things, and she totally corrupted this princess because she's got these lights that come on at dark, and I swear I would never sleep if I lived there all the time because they are so pretty. They just like keep me, they're sparkly. I mean,
Nice.
But all of that came from changing the opportunity, like changing from being obstinate about staying in Portland, which, I mean, I'm laughing with you because I can, but the truth is we're all obstinate about things.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And I think every year that Justin has been gone, I have let go of something else. At first, I kept everything, like scraps of paper he scribbled and threw away. I mean, everything you can imagine. And, you know, just true confession, I thought somehow that was going to keep him here.
I can so relate because Tom had a green Jaguar that we did our last couple of road trips before he got sick.
Mm-hmm.
And I've hung on to that car till just a couple weeks ago. I finally let it go. And it was like a little piece of me, one more little piece that is now moving on. The hope we did at my house in the she shed.
Yes.
Remember, we were fighting the sun because it's a greenhouse? Yeah.
Well, her little cute white head and the sun and the she shed was not working out real well. We had sheets hanging everywhere. We were trying to do all kinds of stuff because she basically looked like she didn't have a head for different times of the day. So we were trying our best to like get all that worked out. And I'm telling you, princess problems, technical difficulties, lighting. We have these kind of problems. But you know what?
We do it anyway.
Show up anyway.
Yeah,
exactly.
And you know, I think the way Tom was with you, I think he is proud of what you're doing to influence so many people. Because I know of several ladies that I have met through you that have suffered loss the same way, and they have like been able to identify with you and be able to move forward in their life. And I don't think it's a move on. I want to clarify.
No, it's not a move on.
It's not a move on like I'm leaving my son 17 years ago. I'm leaving him back there. It's a moving forward with him and his influence. He actually influenced his mama. You know, we as parents think we should influence our children. But the truth is he influenced me so much because he was the way he was. I mean, he was an influencer. And I get tickled at one of the stories they told after he passed away because I'd homeschooled him. And then he went to public school. And when he went to public school, he kept being late for class. And I thought, well, you know, maybe as a homeschooler, I was feeling insecure. Maybe I didn't do a good job. You know, I don't know. I'm not late for stuff, but I don't know. Maybe I didn't do a good job. And they said, no, it's because he will hold the door until every last girl was out of class. He was a gentleman. He had manners. And so they got tickled telling me the story about that they had to explain to him that he couldn't hold the door open for everyone. He had to go ahead and go to class. And so, but that is even though it's a funny, I think back to that and I think how precious that memory is. I know you have a lot of memories.
And I think it's really important when you've lost somebody, when you start having those hard days, if you just try to find something that was wonderful, some memory that you can go to and relive that positive memory, that fun memory, it makes it a lot easier to move forward. And you're right, it's not move on. It's move forward, and you're moving forward with them.
I want to ask both of you, when you start to find those positive memories with that person and you start to feel better about that person, and you're not just reliving their death over and over, is it still a challenge, and how do you get past the challenge of seeing other people who still have a living son or a living husband? How does that feel, and how do you move into being able to appreciate that they have what they have without pointing it back at yourself?
Well, I think the most important thing is to know that we each are living our own lives.
Yeah.
And if you are living your own life, then the people that come into your life are gifts.
Yes.
And if you look at it in that way, I have 7 children. He had 4. I had 3 when we got married. I have 7.
That's right.
And all but one of them is married. So I have 6 amazing in-laws.
Wonderful.
And I have wonderful grandkids, and I even have a great grandson. And that's part of the joy. If you don't have all that, you still have yourself as it's the gift to you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at it that way, then you're just appreciative of the time. Tom and I celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary 4 days before he died. And what an incredible, some people say, oh, that's really sad. It wasn't. It was a true, but all the kids, all 7 of them had never been together since the day they were all together the day we got married. And
Wow.
4 days, the 25th wedding anniversary, because always there was at least one missing
Oh my goodness.
from a family. So it was an incredible celebration of life. And Tom hung on just for that.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, it's really, and if you start looking at yourself as it being a gift, I don't know how you feel about this, but to me, anybody that comes into my life is a gift.
Mm-hmm.
And some are just a little bit bigger size box than others. But I think if you look at it that way, it's more appreciating the people that come in and out. And we talked about this earlier, people coming in and out of our lives. Some are in for the long haul, some are in for the short haul.
That's right.
And
Well, on the same question with Justin, 2 days before he passed away was Thanksgiving. And we had the best Thanksgiving we'd ever had in our lives, like our entire family life. We had about 60 people
wow.
Wow.
that we got to celebrate with and have Thanksgiving. And he was in his element. Like, he thought that was the best thing that had ever happened. And he was just, running around and just having such a grand time. And I thought that was a great way. That was a great way for him to give me that memory. Like,
Yes.
to give me that time of.
And I want to make a comment for you, those of you that really don't know this woman all that well.
I never know what they're going to say.
She took her grief and turned it into something incredibly positive, where there are how many young men?
Enough.
Lots and lots. Okay, she doesn't want to say, so okay, lots and lots. Lots and lots of young men that she took her grief and turned around and helped them. And some of them were getting into a little bit of trouble and that sort of thing. So there's all these young men out there that are now affecting other people's lives that she affected in a very positive way. So there's
That made me cry.
there's so many. One of the stories in my book, which this woman, Jenny, she lost 2 children 9 years apart. The first went to suicide, and the second one was over in, I don't know, it was Indonesia or Malaysia or someplace like that. She was a yoga instructor. She'd gone there to study with a yogi master, and she became ill, and the medicine they gave her was too strong, and she had a heart attack. Jenny and her husband, before they took her son 9 years previous off the ventilator, had decided to start it's called the Kelty Doheny Foundation. And they started out by setting up mental health clinics. And they live in Whistler. And so they had set up mental health clinics in Whistler. And here about 4 or 5 years ago, them and their family and friends went to Newfoundland, and they rode bicycles across Canada to raise money to set up mental health facilities. So out of those children, especially their son, because he was first, out of that, just think of the number of people that have been helped and have been influenced.
That's right.
I mean, every time I reread that story pretty regularly, and every time I do, I get goosebumps about it. So any life that I can help and any life that I can make better is because of the gift that Tom gave me. And I think it's a mindset shift. It's a mindset shift. You helped all those boys and you moved forward into a life that you probably would have never imagined.
Oh, I would never have been doing any of the things that I do today. I just have no doubt. I would have just been focused on, and I was a giver, and I took care of, like, I fed the neighborhood. That was kind of one of the things I did. But at the same time, I would have never gotten past just my own little family, I think. I would have never gotten outside. I always, when I think about it, I think about being broken open so that my capacity for...
I like that, broken open.
That.
That's a great term.
My capacity changed.
You know what? That's a great way of describing it, because I sometimes have a hard time finding the right words. But broken open is a perfect way of describing that sense of giving and wanting to share.
And this whole conference, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but this whole conference is about that. It's about the fact that we were all broken open over something. It doesn't have to be the loss of a child or the loss of a husband.
No.
It can be over the fears of not being enough, or the bankruptcy things, and you can have loss in so many areas, because I know people who have wanted to stop living because their businesses were a loss, or like we've got the opioid addiction right now that's so prevalent, and there's all kinds of reasons why we can be broken open. Yes. Mm-hmm. But if we will allow that broken openness, we're just starting a whole new vocabulary. This is a princess thing too. But if you'll allow that broken openness to stretch your capacity to love and stretch your capacity to serve and to do those things, I think that the sky is probably the limit on what you can accomplish.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I think
we get just whole new levels of whole and happy and purpose-filled and content with our lives. You are breathing. You have the ability that you don't even recognize to really enjoy life.
Yeah.
And it's not something to feel guilty about. Yeah. It's something to share. Coni, you talk about before your crystalline moment, people said, why don't you have some fun? Why don't you relax? Why don't you, and as successful as you were, I can't even imagine you today not having fun. Because she came. Now, I had never met Coni in person. I had met Coni on the Hope to Hope conference, but for my birthday this year, my birthday, you guys, is right between Christmas and New Year's, when everybody is partied out and moneyed out. And so often I get a little bit of a birthday dinner with a couple of friends of mine, and it's somewhere in December or January-ish. Kim and Coni, who I never met in person. I knew Kim, obviously, came all the way to Eureka Springs, and I drove out there, and we had the best time. And then we had the best time.
I'm going to leave it at that.
We sat until probably 1 o'clock in the morning with our feet back and sitting around the hotel table just talking and eating chocolate chip cookies, and all of us wishing we were asleep but couldn't shut up. I bet you can't imagine that.
Well, my old life philosophy was work, play. Work, play. My new life philosophy is have fun, give back, make money.
Have fun, give back, make money. I like it.
And believe me, the latter works much better.
Yes. And making money doesn't quit happening.
No, as a matter of fact, because you're having fun and giving back, you make more money.
That's true. Now you have to use sense, right? You spend the money you actually have, and you make what you're doing pay for itself. And if you don't know how to do that, then you get a good coach, like I did. but yes, you're exactly right. You have fun
when you're living your life purpose. the money will show up.
Yes.
The one lesson I have learned, the biggest lesson I have learned in all this training and everything I've been doing, I came from a farm. I was a farm girl from Nebraska that went to a one-room schoolhouse.
Oh, wow.
And we never had any money. So I was raised with the whole concept of never having it, never going to have it. And that influenced my life. It was a big crystalline moment, influenced my life until after Tom died.
Yeah.
And I finally figured out that it really is not about the money.
Not.
It's the money will show up if you're living the life you're supposed to be living.
Yes.
Absolutely.
If you don't live the life you're supposed to be living, then there's always going to be money struggles.
Well, and you might
Well,
even
it's
have
just struggle to go make it.
you might even have money and have those struggles, but it's never a satisfying thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So there's a big difference between having true wealth and enjoying life and having money and struggling.
Right.
Like
Well, you have to live a life of abundance that includes money as a part of that, but it's really what the money is going to give you and what you do with that money.
Okay, so back up for just a second because you just said something completely profound.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people, including me, we watch people do conferences like this or do webinars, and they show us exotic houses and places that they live and talk about the millions of dollars that they make, and they look like they're having a lot of fun like this. And we don't prioritize. We say, I'm going to have a carefree life where I travel all the time. How carefree is that, by the way? I have a carefree life where I travel all the time, which is a lot of work. And I'm going to be a billionaire, right? When in reality, we're losing focus on what an abundant life really is. It's not a certain dollar figure that you achieve and then it'll be abundant. It's not a 350-day a year travel schedule,
exactly
which is
right.
exhausting. It is living abundantly. It's actually enjoying what you're doing. If you're making just enough to live in a one-room apartment, or if you're making enough to buy houses for people, it's about doing what you enjoy waking up to do every day, and what you can look yourself in the face at the end of the day in the mirror and say, I did a good job today. I lived with purpose.
Yeah, there was something in the talk you had just before me.
Yeah.
You talked about finding those moments to be grateful for. I don't know exactly how you phrased it, but one of the things I wanted to comment on is that you want to celebrate each and every little success.
Yes.
No matter how little it is. Like sitting here and us talking and celebrating just this conversation.
Yeah.
Celebrate that little success.
Yes.
Well, we know that this princess is going to celebrate.
Yes.
We are running out of time with we could do this. Well, actually, we do this a lot. We don't really. We don't get an opportunity to be together that many times a year, but when we do, I mean, look out.
Cool.
And the thing is the money and the abundance and the wealth and all those things that you want to call it. This is actually what is wealthy. This is what wealth looks like, is having people that are really in your corner, that are true, true friends and true colleagues and truly on a mission to be a blessing. Because here's the thing I want y'all to know about these two in particular. They came here on their own dime. They came here. I don't pay them to come and, speak. They come because they believe in what we're doing.
We like being around you.
That might have something to do with it.
They like my crown. I have to watch
This
them. I have to watch them because I think they've been eyeing my crown over there. But, if you are in a place of isolation, which is what we do when we're hurting, we isolate ourselves. I just want to say to you, you don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to be in that spot anymore. Connect with us, connect with other people that are, in our circle, because all these people that are coming on are so generous and so awesome about giving. I cannot stress enough that this is not a typical conference. This is not a selling, no recruiting, no anything. We are telling you what they do so that you understand that whatever you're dreaming about is possible too.
Absolutely.
Because we didn't always believe any of this was possible.
And our dreams don't fit everybody, right? You wouldn't necessarily want to do what one of us does, but the possibilities are endless.
Yes. And so I want you to think about what it is you want to do and think about the opportunities that you have in the things that you have suffered. That's one of the things that a loss is a suffering. Mm-hmm. And whatever you've suffered through, think about the gift that you have in that you can help someone else. And, let us know if you are not scared to put it out there. Like if it's private, don't post it, but comment to us and let us know, what it is that your gift is and your opportunity that you had from a loss or, those times when we think we can't go on. Let us know what the opportunity was, because we love this. Like, this conference means so much to me, and it's come to mean a lot to these girls. And we love the fact that you're able to connect and able to come out of isolation and able to get up from those places that it feels like you're the only one.
Right.
Absolutely.
So let us know, if we can be of service to you.
Yeah.
We love you guys. And this is Coni Meyers, and she's got a long list, so we're not going to tell her.
Crystalline Moments.
Crystalline Moments Publishing. We'll just do one.
Yeah.
She's a publisher. Kristi Bridges from 1 Minute Wiser, and I'm Kim White with the My Sexy Business team. So love you guys, and we will see you back at 4:30.
4:30
Central Time.
Central. 5:30 Eastern.
2:30 Eastern.
Yes.
Pacific.